Welcome back to Cutting Edge.
Today we're going to make bao buns.
Popular in many parts throughout Asia, and it originated in northern China all the way back in the period of the Three Kingdoms.
Stay tuned. For the buns, we start by mixing the dry ingredients, 360 grams of flour, wheat flour. You can use all-purpose. Actually, if you want the really white buns that they serve in Asia, you have to go to your Asian supermarket and buy the bleached flour, but it has less flavor. So I'm using regular wheat flour. 30 grams of sugar, and then a teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of dry yeast. And we give that a mix. So it's all combined. Like that. And then we're going to add our wet ingredients. 180 ml of lukewarm water. 3 tablespoons of milk. And 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, in this case sunflower oil. And then we start mixing. When this starts to look like dough, I'm just going to use my bench scraper here to take the flour down from the sides and then fold it over, because I want all of the flour in there. Now it starts looking like a dough. I'm going to flip it out on my work surface here, like that, and then we start kneading. We're going to knead this for about 5 minutes. If it's a little bit too sticky, you can dust it a little bit. That makes it easier.
You cannot use a mixer for that.
Yeah, you could do that, but I thought today I would go old school.
Traditional.
No, exactly. Tradition. A little bit more dusting flour. There we go. When you get to a point like this, that when you press in the dough, it bounces back, then you're good to go. So now I want to oil a bowl a little bit, and I will dip the dough and flip it in the oil like this. Nice. And now I'm going to cover that and leave it for about an hour or till double in size. Our dough is nice and double. Let's get it out of the bowl. If it will. There we go. Like that. I'm just going to knead it a little bit to get out, let's say, the larger air bubbles. We don't want it to be super fluffy for this. So we give it a little bit of a knead to a nice round ball. Then we're going to roll this out. And when you get it to this size, 1.5 centimeters thick, we are going to give it a coat of oil, and then we're going to flip it over, and then we're going to continue rolling. Now when you get them down to a thickness of about 0.5 centimeter to 1 centimeter, depending how thick you want them, then we're going to cut them out. I'm using here a glass which is 8.5 centimeter diameter. I don't have a cookie cutter, so this will do in a pinch. We're going to put them here on individual little parchment papers. Take that away. The rest of the dough we are going to assemble again and roll that out. It's not a problem. This is a very forgiving dough. It will accept it easily. And I'm going to give them a little bit of oil on the surface of each of them. And then we're going to fold them over like this carefully, because now we don't want them to squeeze them too much. Like that. And don't worry if you think they look a little bit too small. They will proof again, and then they will grow in size. We're going to take our rolling pin, and then we're just going to give them a roll like this. Not very hard, but just to put them together like that. And then we transfer them to our oven pot. And there we go. Nice. Let's get all of them on our baking tray. And now we're going to cover them with a tea towel and let them proof for half an hour to 45 minutes before we get them in the steamer. Our buns have proofed, and look how they puffed up and they're looking good. Now we're ready to get them into our steamer. But be careful here, don't overcrowd it, you know, it has to be like, we will do this in batches. Arrange them nicely, let's say 4, and then we're going to do second layer. In with our buns. They're looking nice. It's a little bit smaller, that's okay. We can give that to the little nephew. Get the lid on, and then we're going to put that over boiling water in our wok here. Give that a little bit more, and now we're going to let that steam for 12 minutes, and then we're going to switch off the heat for 5 minutes, but leave them in the steamer, and then they will be perfect. And while they do that, we are going to make a small nice sticky sauce for our buns. I have 100 ml of low sodium soy sauce and maybe 75 ml of apple cider vinegar, and then 2 tablespoons of gochujang. Gonna add to our pan here. I love this bean paste, it's really nice. And then 2 tablespoons of ketchup to give a little bit of tomatoey umami flavor. It's nice. And then I have here 2 tablespoons of white sugar and 1 minced clove of garlic. And now we're gonna put that on medium heat, and then we're gonna let that cook till we have the right consistency. When you have a nice thick consistency like this on our sticky sauce, then we're gonna add a sprinkle of toasted sesame seeds. That will give some nice extra flavor and texture to this. And now we're just going to stir that in. We're not going to cook it with the sesame seed, just stir it in and warm it up. And then we're going to set this perfect like that. And then we will set this aside so we can brush it in our bao buns. Our buns are ready, and let's get them out of the steamer. This is quite warm. We can hack it. Ooh, they look good.
They smell so nice.
Yeah, they do actually.
Kind of creamy, I would say. Maybe because of the milk, huh?
Yeah, probably. I'm not even sure about that actually, but they do look good. And they have a nice size. That's actually, I like that.
Well, I look forward to try them because I've never tried them before.
Not even when we were living in China.
No.
Really?
I don't remember that.
Let me just get a tea towel to cover them so they can rest there. Let me get one from here. I just want to sacrifice one to show you here. They're just perfectly fluffy. And they separate, you know, with the oil inside. They're perfect.
That's a good trick. Hey, you're eating already.
They're going to be perfect for the shredded beef.